Hello, welcome back to the Thursday. As you already know, Thursday is about investing idea, international investing, and I recently have a conversation with Mr. Simon, and he just took a trip back to China. He have also visited Vietnam. Da Nang is also central Vietnam, is my hometown. So we talk and discuss a lot about Da Nang, Vietnam, and China, and other American entrepreneur and business owner that recently been to China that wanted to get some feedback about the trip that Simon had, right? And so Simon, that's a great business that you build, great product that you build, and then tell us about who you are, what you do, and sharing with us, about your recent trip to Asia.
Well, thank you for letting me chat with you today. I have to say up front that I've been going to China for business purposes for almost 25 years. Done not a huge amount of business, but I've done some manufacturing over there, some selling over there. Obviously, like every other business that was doing business anywhere else, things stopped with the pandemic. Right when I was planning on a new business activity in China, primarily around medical products, textiles, and that all got put on hold. I also have a partner, Chinese partner in Australia, who is helping me get back into China. He has a lot of connections there. He went over there about 2 months ago, talked about our technologies, talked about our products, and got some interest from two very, very significant companies. When he got back, he basically told us what the lay of the land was and that things had changed and how aggressive he felt the Chinese businessmen were towards any external business, but in particular American, contrary to what the news makes us look like to each other. So I put together a very quick trip, had about a week's notice, and went with my partner who's a scientist and made some presentations in China, primarily Hong Kong and Shenzhen.
That is great, Simon. So, welcome back. As the entrepreneur has been do business in China and Vietnam, for a long time. Back in 1989, I went to China. It's during the width of Tiananmen Square, so that wasn't really fun.
Wow! Yeah.
Yes.
I was 10 years later.
10 years later.
A big 10 years.
Yeah, I come back to China to do a lot of EB5 investment in China, of course. And then they're doing real estate, providing real estate service, right? So that's how I connected going back to China. But I'm scheduled another trip to go to Shanghai on the 16th and 17th. That's where I meet with a lot of EB5 investors that wanted to apply to get U.S. citizenship and also buying property in the U.S. You already know, and the audience already know, China still purchased prior to COVID over 122 billion annual in residential, and Vietnam is followed to be another country. Oh. Also invest number 3 in the world, invest in Seattle, Bellevue, and the rest of the country is about number 3 in EB5 investor. And so when you mentioned to me, Simon, that you want me to help you with a factory, industrial factory or office or accommodation for your business in Vietnam, in Da Nang, I say, bring them in. We're ready to help. We're ready to help you today, right? So the next one that we're going to go over to Vietnam, I want to be able to get you to see some of the opportunity there, for the real estate need. But, today I wanted to for you to share with the audience about the recent trip back from China and how were your meeting and how were the people approach and behave toward American, that people like you and me doing business in China.
Yeah, it's like, are we traitors? Are we doing something evil? Are we looked at with suspicion by the Chinese people. No, that's not true. And certainly my experience is not throughout China with all the business people, but I connected with two very large companies, numerous meetings with them. All of it was extremely positive, but also just the people on the street, the hotels. I was in Hong Kong and Shenzhen, which are probably the most modernized cities and the most international next to Shanghai.
Right.
And so you would expect them to be more forward-looking, but also because of all the problems with the pandemic and the blames and the governments, it was interesting to me to see how the people on the street, hotels, restaurants, it was better than it was before. Honestly, especially for the businessmen, I think they got their nose bloodied during the pandemic, and the public policy towards business was so draconian that they all were hurting. No matter how successful their businesses were, they really took a step back. And I don't think they certainly didn't complain about the government. I didn't expect that. But you can read between the lines that they are ready to get back into the business, and they're ready to be part of the international community. They don't want to be isolated and be China only, or like, same here, make America great. No, they want to do business, and they love American technology. And honestly, for 25 years, I've been treated with respect and friendliness that I don't think I felt it here in many times. So I'm prejudiced. I've done business in China before. I really like my Chinese partners. I think they're people that you can trust over there. Many people you can trust. Obviously, the cliches are, you know, watch out, they can steal from you, or the government will take over your... But if you guys wait for that story to go away, you're never going to do business in China. You just, if you live in fear, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. It's too stressful. But I feel like it's going to open up, and if the governments don't do anything really stupid, business in China is going to boom. It's going to boom. And then the sidebar to that is, because of the concerns over China, I've had to look from a manufacturing standpoint to other areas in Asia to put some base business together, because my investors were nervous about putting it in China.
Right.
Which brings us to our discussion today. Vietnam has a really, it appears to be a really good business environment now. The public policy is aggressive, and it's located perfectly for me, because if I get big business going in China, it's truckloads, train loads of product, and there's a land bridge. It goes right into Guangdong province, which is where all the action is. So I think that Vietnam for me is new from a business standpoint, and that's why I came to Michael to get his take on it, whether it was a sensible proposition. And I'm more bullish now. Of course, he's prejudiced. He came from Da Nang, and I visited Da Nang 5 years ago, and I wanted to buy a house on the beach that day. So I really do think that's a good spot for some of my business operations.
Yeah, and Mr. Simon, you operated for decades in China and very familiar about the China market. I mean, other great successful business owner like you, and now you expanding, the presence to Vietnam, right?
Yes.
And so you tell and then continue to do business with China and Vietnam, right?
Yes.
And continue to have fun and doing what you do.
You can't have too many friends in business, and you can't have you need to be diverse in where you are with your businesses, because the world is a crazy place and bad things happen. So you don't want to have everything in one spot. It's too dangerous. And so the idea of expanding into the other areas of Asia, in particular, getting a foothold in Vietnam at this time, is really I think it's a good idea.
No, I would agree because I been 34th time I set foot in China was 1989 during the summertime, right? And but that was 35 years ago,
It's
But
changed a bit.
I don't look like I
No.
been there for 35 years, but I've been to China about 35 years ago. It's great country, great people. They working really hard.
Yes.
And it's just tremendous opportunity. We from America, we spend trillions of dollars investing in China, and a lot of those turn out to be very successful. Anything from manufacturing to a lot of product, and we do build all that in China. And happen to see a lot of the company that moving out of China to different countries. Which I think I respect that too. Mm-hmm. But then Vietnam, and what we provide in it. I'm doing another Marriott hotel for another partner in Hanoi. We do another Hilton in Dalat, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we also do a mixed-use shopping center in Nha Trang. It's about about an hour travel from Da Nang to Nha Trang. Beautiful ocean there. That's why they have the global Miss Universe event, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it's really good to be able to do at an American company and business that continue to do business in Vietnam and expand into to do business in China, but expand into Vietnam because they want to have more productive, more way to dealing with the U.S. at the same time, to continue with what you do in manufacturing business and get your presence in Asia. And the most important thing is having more fun, right?
Yes.
As a business owner.
As a business owner.
Right. So tell us about, Mr. Simon, as a American corporate business owner like yourself. Why expanding the footprint of your product and have it in Da Nang, Vietnam?
Well, part of it, once again, is the political issues around China. Not so much for me personally, but for investors. They don't want me to put all our manufacturing and all our eggs in one basket in China because of the politics. But yet we have products that my potential partners want to bring into China in great volume. Tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in potential business in China. So how do I mitigate that risk and scale up the manufacturing, which I need to do anyway? I have to start from scratch on these technologies. So whether I do it in China, whether I do it in Vietnam or Indonesia, isn't really that. I still have the same amount of money to spend. I still have to make that investment someplace.
That's right.
So the safe investment to me feels like if I'm going to build infrastructure, not China now. Maybe later, things calm down. We're in a perfect position to move into manufacturing in China as we expand. Right. We'll need more space. But from a safety and a business environment factor, Vietnam looks really good, and they're growing. The economy's good. The politics seem to be staying out of business, which is important. So unless something giant happens, we're going to be there. We're going to be in Vietnam doing manufacturing and product development.
And of course, have more fun.
Oh, yes. I've enjoyed going to Asia for 25 years, and once again, the people, the food, and you can stay 5-star hotels for $150. I did that in China. I've done that in Vietnam. I mean, I still have to watch my budget, but I love staying in nice places and being treated well with the food. So I love it there.
Yeah, Mr. Simon. Today is a good unique scenario. Earlier in the day, we have one of our students from Houston, Texas, sharing with us, how to build up to 200 retailers into a property that remodel and build, and he started everything from ground up, and then we have at early today at 10 o'clock, we have an entrepreneur doing a lot of small unit lot subdivision and short plat in Seattle that wanted to scale the business to the next level by invest into our modern living product.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, that product is providing opportunity for the foreign investor to buy into, invest into under the regional center program and get U.S. visa and a green card. So I'm so thrilled to meet Steven Sen. If you're watching this program, I appreciate you took your time to come in and share with me your goal, your passion, your vision, and what you wanted to do for investor from Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So I got our long-term friend, Mr. Simon here, and I have a lot of respect for in terms of building the product. They're going to come in out and, and be able to do that substantial amount of business in Asia and continue to expand in Asia because we are the USAsia Pacific, right? So we ready to help you any way that we can with licensing, real estate leasing, and then assisting you and advising you on how to be successful to expanding your business there. And so I'm pretty sure that Mr. Simon, or many of our friends out there that own a developer investor that wanted to expand in the business to Asia, that you can, that's for sure that we always here help you. If you need our help, we just a phone call away, right? And then, in net coming that we have a trip to Asia in July. It's just in July after we go to Denver, Colorado, to take a look at the factory they're going to be building there to build housing. Then I'm going to Shanghai from the 17th to the 18th to the 20th. We're going to be there for the 3 days, talking to you as an investor, right? And continue to help you to invest in America through housing and getting your green card, U.S. citizenship, right? Federal government of U.S. have renewed the EB5 program from 2022 in August to all the way to 2027. EB5 program signed by President of the United States is the longest extension in the EB5 industry history, right? And then on top of that, we also, federal government of the USCIS, it also allocate 20% that give the priority for a Chinese investor or Vietnamese investor that wanted to invest into a rural area, a distance from the urban area, 20% total of 10,000 visa. That if you were to put money under the regional center program in the rural area, that requires your money and your assistance and your help to build our economy and creating more jobs for American workers here and giving more tax to the municipality. So you got that expedite processing your green card much faster, but we only have a very short amount of time, limited every single year. We had 20% out of 10,000 visa that will help you to invest to get visa faster program. So, so we'll be in Shanghai for 3 days, 17 to the 20. Then I make my way to Xiamen to have another outfit there. We have a great outfit meeting with a lot of you that's already signed up for the program, right? I then went to Chengdu, and then, of course, we're coming to Beijing. We also opened an office in Hanoi, and to serve a lot of people that coming from, a lot of private in China that wanted to cross into Vietnam and visit, right? So we're excited, and we're taking about 8 or 9 American developer builder investor like myself that coming with me. Someone from Pennsylvania, some from Texas, and some from Seattle. So I just want to let for sure that if this trip right here, it's going to be a fun trip. It's going to be Hanoi, Vietnam, going to be Da Nang, Vietnam. Look at opportunities, that way that we can expand in our American product business to Asia, right? That we can pick a second place or beside China, you know. Also, we're going to go into China as well. So I'm looking forward to spend time with all of you that are going to come into this trip that we're going to have. I guarantee you, we're going to have fun. And then, of course, Mr. Simon, since you just come back from China, do business in China for a couple of decades, right? What is your final piece of advice to all of our American corporate friends that will continue to expand in our product and continue to expand in the market, you know, through Asia using either Vietnam or China at a base? Yeah.
I really just have one most important piece of my belief anyway. Don't be afraid to do business in Asia, and don't be afraid to do business in China based on the evening news. Yes, anything can fall apart. We've had 2008, all of our economy went to heck. You know, there's so many risks in business anyway. But if you let them stop you from doing some things to the biggest market in the world and the fastest developing country in the world, and if you think you know China and you haven't been there, you're wrong. You just don't know what China's like. It's so modern. It's so easy to do business with if you follow the rules. But just don't be afraid. Just get up and do it. Go with these guys. They know how to do it. They take the fear away. They should take the fear away.
Yeah, look at the USAsia EB5 and real estate funding tour that we have last month. We spent 7 different trips. Vietnam, you know, we have 500 people, and you can look at the below, all the image and all the website for our event. We have 500 people showed up to the event, right? Everybody anxious to invest in the U.S., you know, and vice versa, back and forward in terms of doing the real estate deal and finance. And then we team up with April 4 to 7 with U Global hosting a great event at the Continental Saigon. How many people showed up at that event? 700 people, right? You know, a lot of brokers, a lot of, but take a look at all the images from our from our Facebook or LinkedIn, and you can see it for yourself. You know, we host another successful event at the Saigon Hotel. I forgot the name of the Saigon Hotel, the French name. But we have April 6th, again, 276 people. We make our way to Hanoi. We have a great reception with investors there, right? Went to Hong Kong and China and Macau on April 12 and April 11. We got over 400 people to come to us, right? We're done with that meeting, productive meeting. We went to Taipei, Taiwan on April 15. And take a look at all the images below here. We have 400 people that came to the event and meet with us. Think about this one out of American business owner, CEO, operator, right? That when you want to expand your business to Asia, and then you have all this question and concern and all the worry. And I say that we live our life in 4-letter F. 4 letters start with the F, right? You know what that means? F, E, A, R. Fear. When you fear, you paralyze. Like Mr. Simon said, don't read the news at the CNN, CBS, and NBC, even the news, and worry, this is how it is. No, it's not, right? So be strong, be confident, expand in your market. Apple selling more Apple product in Asia, Vietnam and China than the U.S. Tiffany jewelry, you know, their store in the U.S. is sell less than the store in Vietnam and China. Now you tell me, is that the right thing to do? As the CEO of all the retail product that need to expand in offshore, no place better than China, Vietnam, and Asia. Because, by the way, Asia, why you at Asia? Because you from the U.S., you make all this great product. Hilton Hotel, Apple, Microsoft software, right? All of this that you wanted to expand into Asia. Why Asia? Because I'm standing in Hong Kong, right? between 2.5 hours, 3-hour flight, I can get to the 67% of the world population. Now it's like 67% of the world population. How many people do we have in the USA? Well, we have 340 million. That means we represent 4% of the global, you know. So get what? You owe it to yourself. Listen to Mr. Simon. Just came back from China. Listen to us or calling us, right? Expanding your business. But don't be fear, right? Don't be fear. So go out and expanding your business and talk to us if you need real estate, you need advisory, you need work that we can do for you, or we can, if we don't know the answer, we're going to prefer or send you to someone that know how to help you. Or if you really want to take the action, join our event in July, right? We're going to go into 4 different cities in China, and then we're going to go in Hanoi. We're going to go to Da Nang for sure, and then we're going to be at our office in Saigon, our Asia office. So with that in mind, guys, I wanted to thank you, Mr. Simon, for sharing, taking the time today from your busy schedule and sharing with us your input about your recent business China trip to Vietnam and your decision to expand into your recent trip to China and your recent expansion to Vietnam. And we're here to help you with all the real estate and any services that we can do to help you. So congratulations and thank you. We're looking forward to do business with you.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.